The most fun year of lifting is going to be year one because you have no idea what potential your genetics hold, in which you get a pretty good idea after your first year of lifting. Then you're curious about year two, year three, year four, year five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. And so with this video, we're going to answer the die-hard question of what to expect when building muscle after your first year of lifting. So let's start with point number one. We have to knock down the obvious pursuit of progress, and that's going to be focusing on your training performance, aka progressive overload, your strength, your muscle endurance, your volume capacity within a training week or training period, alongside with pretty simple things like making sure you're eating enough protein, eating enough calories, eating less calories if you're in a deficit, and sleeping enough hours. Everyone talks about these parameters: training, sleep, eating. And while yes, eating is super important, especially in the earlier stage of your training career, as well as sleep, you need to really lock in on your training. And you need to stop thinking one way or the other. You have to stop thinking that strength training is just about hitting new 1-rep maxes. You need to stop thinking that muscle endurance is not just doing cardio, or that volume is just doing more sets. Your strength matters with whatever rep range you're performing. Your muscle endurance depends on your cardiovascular endurance, but if you choose certain exercises that are less fatiguing overall because they require less stability, like isolations and machines, then certain exercises can be used for training up your muscle endurance. It takes time to adapt to your training volume. So I'm gonna assume you knew all that, and that's just let's get to point number two, the real meat and potatoes of this video. It branches off from point one, so hopefully you didn't skip to this part of the video. But point number two, you need a goal outside of building muscle. That might sound counterintuitive. Start building an interest inside the gym outside of building muscle. And that sounds ridiculous, but not really. Start powerlifting, start CrossFit, start running, start weightlifting, calisthenics. Do those activities alongside building muscle and treat them with off-season periods for your hypertrophy / bodybuilding training. Because I'm gonna be honest, if you just focus on hypertrophy year out, things will get stale. Now, there's some outliers, some of you like staleness, but at a certain point, there's diminished return for your progress. The more lifting you do does not mean the more results you'll get. And if you do things right, you do things natty, you're pretty much just lifting to maintain at a certain point with maybe minuscule amounts of progress. And so if you take up a new skill within lifting, like powerlifting, weightlifting, calisthenics, you have these side quests to achieve within your lifting career that you won't be distracted alone by your progress. You won't be looking in the mirror and be like, fuck, did I gain any muscle after this session? Probably not, because you know you're year 5 into lifting. The bigger changes go unnoticed because it takes a while and you see your physique every single day, so it's hard to really notice the small changes. And so if you distract yourself by pursuing a different goal within the lifting realm, even if it goes against the grain of hypertrophy, like something that's running based, it's okay. You could take seasons where you have more running focus, seasons where you have more bodybuilding focus of like 3 to 4 months, and you could still have 99.9% of the gains in your hypertrophy progress as if you just stayed on the course for bodybuilding. Okay, don't quote me on the 99%, but you can have the majority of the gains. Now we move on to the last point, which is very important for point number 1 and 2, and that's beating the body dysmorphia train. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you're thinking to yourself, if year 1 was this crazy, I wonder what year 2, year 3, year 4 is going to be like. I'm sorry to say, but the changes really do slow down. And when I'm referring to changes, I mean the rate of muscle progression, not how you look. If you're holding on to a lot of fat, sure, you could showcase a lot more muscle mass by getting leaner, but you're never going to gain as much muscle mass in that first year of lifting as you will in the preceding years of your lifting journey, unless you're blasting gear. And so on the topic of gear, if you're natural and you're staying natural, and I don't have to convince you to stay natural, lifting at this point will be doing more for less. And you should get very comfortable with the idea, because don't get caught up with the progress train. If you make progress in the gym your biggest motivator versus just enjoying the process, enjoying other aspects of lifting, your headspace is not gonna be delusional as it could be by just focusing on how jacked you are, looking in the mirror, flexing every session, which by the way, you can still do those things, but you have to be understanding with yourself that this could be very detrimental to your mental health. This is why we're having the epidemic of teenagers jumping on gear, making TikToks, flexing, togies after like 1 to 2 years of lifting, because they stop the first year of gains where they make a lot of progress. They don't see a need to jump on gear. After year 2, it starts to slow down. They see a downhill trajectory. Then they're like, holy shit, I need to make change now because my interest for lifting's fading. I'm going to jump on PEDs and become some social media celebrity. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It is the case, and it does work for people. It's just coming at this little cost called your life. Now, some people get away with it and live maybe the exact same lifespan. Maybe they'll die early anyways. But a lot of us are shortening our lifespans. And if you really think about why you got into lifting initially, it was to improve your looks, your confidence, and even health. And what that really sounds like is self-improvement, right? So don't get addicted to the feeling of making progress with just lifting. that novelty feeling of feeling like you're more confident, you look better, all these feelings that you initially felt with lifting was because lifting was new to your life. And it does help to an extent, but there's diminished returns to where you don't look that much better, you're not that more confident, you're just impressing dudes at this point. That if you kind of retrospectively go back in time, what really gave you that kind of new confidence and feeling of being improved was the idea that you expanded into new territories with lifting, kept accountable, improved your physicality, and added diversity to your life. Now, I'm not saying quit fitness, screw fitness, you reached all the peak gains, just kind of do 2 days a week in the gym. You're good, fam. I'm just saying if you could express that love you had from fitness into other ways, like making videos, helping others in the gym, becoming a trainer, whatever, and acknowledging that if you work hard, you continue a path where you're accountable, acknowledge you have good and bad days, you could take that same mindset that you use for your fitness journey and apply to anything. Now, it might not be as immediate returns as is with fitness, but getting that novelty that you chase where you feel self-improved, more confident, feel more complete as a person is not by getting more jacked. It might help a little bit, but it's by improving your overall quality of life. Because if you really think about a physique, 99% of it is your genetics, 1% is your hard work. A lot of people work hard and a lot of people have terrible physiques because, well, their genetics or insertions, they're not blessed for lifting. They all work hard, but just because someone has better insertions, taller, smaller, those are the people that are going to get the recognition, not the people that are working hard but don't have the great physiques. And that just because you're very aesthetic, very strong, isn't necessarily a reflection of one's knowledge, but maybe an expression of their genetics and overall work ethic. And the same can be said if someone responds well to gear. So in the epidemic of gear talk, I hope it resonated with you to stay natural, to continue a healthier mindset, because with a healthier mindset, you're going to have a healthier life. You're going to enjoy lifting, not make your everything, and learn that training is really about improving your overall quality of life. Also, like, subscribe, and comment below. Peace.